This part of the brain reliably lights up when people feel pain. So, for example, if you were to stub your toe or to have a cyclist clip you as you go past and you feel pain in a certain body area, this part of the brain, along with many others, will light up, and that produces the sense of pain in your body. The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex is the only bit which responds to both physical pain and mental anguish, psychological pain, being rejected in a social situation. Now, as a neuroscientist, I thought, well, that's very interesting, but as a neuroscientist, all different parts of the brain light up at different times, and it's very hard to make head or tails of it. So I then went away and I started thinking, well, maybe I'll look into other branches of research that touch upon wrath, that touch upon envy, that touch upon all these other, why not? An arbitrary list of 7 bad things that you might want to avoid doing. And what I found is this brain area kept cropping up again and again and again. So let's take wrath. What is wrath? We humans are a bellicose bunch of people. We always, we are mammals at the end of the day. And if a dog steps into another dog's territory, they react aggressively. And we are still mammals, right? And if someone, under certain circumstances, we're allowed to say, protect our property. Take that farmer who shot dead a burglar. He was originally given life. It was commuted down because, there was someone in his house. He was a career robber. There are circumstances where wrath is okay. There are circumstances where wrath is not okay. The sin of wrath, I went through all the different kind of religious teachings and tried to understand where is the bad in wrath, and that was the prickliest one. A lot of the religions say, well, wrath's fine so long as you do it in the service of God. I think that's a little bit self-serving, so I went into jurisprudence and looked at what the law thinks of it. It all depends on whether what your intent is, and it also depends on whether you have full sense of your faculties. But again, going off on a bit of a tangent, sorry about that, going back to wrath. There are loads of interesting experiments that you can do, putting people in the scanner and putting them under circumstances which really captures the essence of wrath. And what captures the essence of wrath is the urge for revenge, the desire for retribution, that instinct that makes you know you're going to get done for it if you do that thing you're plotting to do, but you do it anyway, because the satisfaction of lashing out will just feel great. So there's a variety of wonderful psychological paradigms which literally wind people up to the point where they get really angry and want to inflict harm on others. It's called the TAP task, the Taylor aggression paradigm. And it essentially involves wiring you're going to love this, wiring 2 people up to electrodes, and then you give them a dial and you allow them to electrocute each other in a tit-for-tat fashion. Now, in these situations, these people will tend to crank up the electrocution rate, and they'll be like, ow, that really hurt, and they'll crank it up a bit more. That was much harder than the electric shot I gave you. Ah, zap, zap, zap. So you put people in this situation, and you do this whole experiment inside the brain scanner, and guess what part of the brain lights up in a manner that is proportional to the objectively measured amount of revenge exerted thereafter? The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the root of all of our anguish. Envy. Envy has 2 forms. The benign, where you feel envious over someone and you use that as an inspiration to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and get yourself up to the level of the person you're feeling envious about. Then there's malicious envy. You see that person who's from a similar background to you, who had a similar start in life, who didn't do anything special to deserve it, but makes you feel insignificant and inferior by virtue of everyone thinking they're awesome, having more money, on every measure, better partner, better quality of life, better holidays. You feel so angry, and you want them to come tumbling down because their superiority emphasizes your relative inferiority. The problem with envy is that it's very relative. And so, again, let me have one little tangent. Dante, he prescribed the punishment in hell in Dante's Inferno for people who are envious is to have their eyes sewn shut with metallic, or what do you call it, metal thread. So permanently sealed eyes. So for once, Dante was being nice to people, because if you can't see other people, then you can't see the difference between you and them.